I'm Shannon McGee, franchise owner with Network in Action here in the metropolitan Nashville area as well as nationwide. And today I have Ashlee Brooks with Brooks and Associates Tax Consulting Services. Thanks for joining me today, Ashlee.
Thank you for having me, Shannon.
Okay, so tell me, I love this part of a story. Tell me your story. How come you decided to launch your own firm?
Yeah, so I always start with I love numbers. Everybody that knows that I do tax, they're just like, how do you do this? I hate it. But I've always been a numbers girl since I was a kid. And I got my degree in accounting. And I actually surprisingly started off as a financial analyst because I didn't know the difference. I was just happy to get a job in corporate. But once I got into the role, I was like, this isn't, accounting. This is more projections, budgeting, but I still dealt with numbers. And I really liked that. Got into my career for about 2 or 3 years or so, but I realized I really love working with people. When I was in college, I did an internship where I got the opportunity to handle tax preparation and I loved it, but I wasn't doing that in my job. And every time I would speak with someone, they're like, you can do supply chain, you can do marketing. And I'm like, no, I actually wanted to be client interfacing. So shockingly, I actually quit my job after about 5 years and I just said, I'm going to do some soul searching and really figure out my career path. And it's a mantra that I live by. I want my professional and my personal relationship to align. So that's something I will always kind of keep in the forefront of my mind. And in researching, I got an opportunity to work with a couple of guys that were in Dallas. I lived there for a couple of years. And that was my first reintroduction into tax. And when I tell you I loved it, I love working with people, and I relocated to Nashville and almost 10 years ago, actually. And I got the opportunity to work with a couple of public accounting firms. There, I work with high net worth clients. So now I'm dealing with clients that really owe a lot of tax. So the difference was we would do the tax preparation. I would get into the conversations about how we can save. And guess what? It's billable hours. So after 15 minutes, my manager would knock on my door like, hey, you need to wrap this call up. And I'm like, okay, because I'm really invested into that. And I found that I'm very passionate about financial literacy. So, COVID was a trying time for all of us. And I'm a mom. It was public tax season for me in public accounting. And I also started to get people that knew what I did, and they're reaching out to me asking for advice. So I decided to just quit my job again, but now I had the opportunity to start my own business. And so the thing that I love is the educational side. A lot of people became entrepreneurs during COVID, but they had no clue what they were doing. So now I had the opportunity to not only do the tax preparation, but now we're talking bookkeeping. I'm consulting them on business formation. The list went on, but I started 4 years ago, and I haven't looked back since. I haven't had any regrets. I'm really working in the area that I love.
Ashlee, I love your story. I love
Thank
your
you.
passion,
Thank
right?
you.
Clearly you're different than others in the marketplace, right? There's big
Yeah.
firms, there's even single tax
CPAs.
advisors,
Yeah.
but they tend to be a bit transactional. Give me your
Yes.
paperwork, here I'm going to do it. Your passion for not only educating others, but really your desire to help them, not just
Yeah.
inform them, to help them
Yes.
to do
Yes.
good. I love it. Like it
Thank you.
clearly sets you apart. Tell me, do you have a favorite client story or something you might
Um,
want to share?
So I would say and you really hit it on the head, like my differentiator is really tax education. And
Mhm.
it used to be before my clientele base grew, I met with every single client. We had to have a tax interview. I mean, not a tax, it was kind of like a tax interview, but it was a tax review session. But I
Okay.
would explain to them, what's reported on their return, if they owe, why they owe. Sometimes clients get a refund and they're actually overpaying in taxes and don't realize it.
Mhm.
So we will have that conversation too. So I'll give you two quick short stories. One of them was actually a situation where a client was getting a refund. After we did her tax preparation, I'm like, hey, technically you don't have to have taxes withheld. And this will actually bring home more take home pay for you because she was a single mom with kids.
Okay.
She's just like, no, I need to pay taxes. So, she didn't take the recommendation the first year. The second year, she got a big refund again. This time I explained to her the bulk of your refund it's because you're overpaying in taxes. And I showed her, if you don't have any taxes withheld, you're still going to get a refund because of the credits and deductions that you qualify
Mm,
for. We were able to do zero withholdings for the upcoming tax season. She still got a refund. It wasn't as big, but the plus was she got more take home pay to take care
mhm.
of all of her financial responsibilities. That was huge. And that was a game changer for me. But that was an example for me to share more of that information, because everybody think tax and refund, and it's not always the case. The goal is not always to get a refund. I look at it like you want to break in, you want to make sure you're compliant. But if you can save some of that money for yourself in other buckets, that's the goal. And on the flip side of that, I have a lot of clients that owe taxes, right? So I offer tax planning. And like I said, I've been in business for about 4 years, and I will push tax planning, and it does cost. It's not a free service. It is different from tax preparation. So a lot of clients, when they would hear the price, they're like, oh no, I can't afford that. I just want the one-time tax preparation and that's it, right? So as time has went on, I have more clients now that understand the value of tax planning. But the one key example for me, I a lot of clients that do tax planning, they're typically on like tens of thousands of dollars. So they have to find ways to save. And I had one client, as I say that, I'm thinking of like several, but it was one in particular. They owed tens of thousands of dollars. They didn't take the tax planning the first year. They're like, nope, I can't afford it. They weren't doing estimated tax payments. They didn't take any of the recommendations I provided them, just at a high level, right? To be proactive. So second year they owed again. And I said, hey, let's do a tax planning session so I can show you what it would look like if you saved and you put money in these other buckets. They actually implemented this tax strategy the next year. And I think they may have owed probably $1,000 or less, but that was drastic from the tens of thousands that they were owing. But it's me taking the time to explain to them. And I think that's the biggest part with all people. It doesn't matter background, the industry, the class that you come from. Everybody has to pay taxes. But when you get to a point where you start to owe, that's the time where you need to get with a professional. Even if you're with a professional, you have to start asking questions on, are there any ways that I can save? And I don't recommend anyone listen to all the internet gurus. Their advice is not bad or it's not misinformed, but it doesn't apply to everyone. And a
Mhm.
lot of people don't realize that someone that's working versus someone that's doing a little hybrid between they have a business and they're working versus a 100% business owner, all three situations are going to be different. And they'll take that internet advice and want to apply it across the board. And I've had clients to do that, and it's made them owe more in taxes, or they've gotten IRS letters because they've misreported some information. So my goal is to educate the client to ensure that they're compliant, but they're finding ways to save too.
See, I love that because what people don't understand is for the investment of time and
Yeah,
your fee to do the consulting, it's going to save them money.
for
I mean,
sure.
it's going to pay for itself,
Yeah.
both money, cash,
Yep.
time, stress,
Yep.
and compound like year
Yeah.
over year in and getting out ahead of, not to mention there's those late fees if you owe a whole lot and haven't done your estimated taxes. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
crazy not to take advantage of somebody that is so passionate about helping and not just being a transaction. It's
Yes.
so exciting to talk to you, Ashlee. I love your heart and passion for others. I love your experience. I love your heart and passion for numbers, because a lot
Yes.
of people are like, who wants to do that? Ashlee does. Like
Yes.
Ashlee does. Let Ashlee help. I love that. So Ashley, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way
Yeah.
to reach you?
Yeah, so social media is the thing now. So I'm active on all platforms. So Tax Boss, TaxBawse is how they can reach me on social media. If you would like to send me an email, you can email me at admin@baataxconsulting.com. And we're looking forward to speaking with anyone. If you have any question, I always say no question is a dumb question. You want to make sure you're compliant and that your returns are being filed properly. And if you can save some taxes along the way, that's the goal.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining me
Thank
today,
you.
Ashlee. What a fabulous story. What a your just your energy, your passion, your
Thank
enthusiasm.
you.
It's truly been a delight to talk with you.
Thank you so much.